And here we are with part 12, talking about MFO and the train up by me. Well, what I experienced, of course. We talked about the medical, we talked about the ranges, we talked about our wonderful leadership. We're talking about how everything is so snafud in Fort Lewis. All that rain and snow and coldness. Trying to get, we couldn't get climatized for the desert. So basically we were kind of screwed up. And there's really not much we can do about it. But during this time, our uniforms finally came in. They gave us a call, they let us know, it says, hey, the DCUs are in. So basically, we had to get inside the damn cattle cars again and the two crappy old beat up buses that we had. And we had to drive down to pick them up from the warehouses. What the hell we used to call it, the CIF or CFI? Something like that, receiving, returning. So we go rolling in there and we get in line, per platoons. Since Bravo Company is going to be coming in behind us, we were Alpha Company at the time, Alpha 361, the Apaches. Okay, go figure. So we're going to go rolling in there, we're going to get our DCUs. So we go in, and the long line, what size you wear, boots, boot size, t-shirts, like this old fucking raggedy t-shirt I've had for years. This is actually the last of the original 8, and it's pretty much almost worn out and about ready to go into the trash. And they gave you long johns and, of course, the jackets for some of us. So when we got the DCU jackets and all the DCU tops, I think I have one probably laying around somewhere. I don't even know where it's at anymore. It's been so many years. But I still have the jacket. And basically what they did is you had to pay to get all your patches and stuff sewn on. You had to. This was mandatory. You had to pay it. Not the Army, not the National Guard. They did not pay for it. So I had to send out my jacket after I got all my boots and stuff and for my DCU tops. I had to send out to get, first of all, we had to get DCU Flaming Asshole patches. This is the 40th Infantry Division patch for California National Guard. We had to get these, the multi-force, the multinational force and observers badges. They automatically have to be sewn on under your patch to identify who you are. Name tapes, you had to go and get paid for. You had to pay for all that. U.S. Army and plus your own name. Unfortunately, you had to have a flag sewn on each of the DCUs. And some of you guys that we had, they were combat veterans already from Desert Storm, Somalia, Panama, and Grenada. So they get to put their combat patches on and put the flaming and then put the American flag underneath it. For some of us who are not yet combat veterans or have been in conflict, patch goes up here, you don't have a patch there. The 18th Airborne I later put on because we ended up getting orders for the higher headquarters for Operation Enduring Freedom from the 2-star generals in charge of the 18th Airborne Division, which later, of course, became a corps or was a corps. But I think it might have been the Corps XO. So I later put the 18th Airborne patch on. So, and they called it, those are theater patches, bro, since Egypt is not a war zone. Actually, yes, it is a war zone. It just doesn't mean that we're doing a lot of fighting there and kicking in doors. But anyway, so we got these. DCU bottoms got DCU tops. And we get these orange berets. I don't know where my orange beret at. And we get these orange MFO Stetsons. You get one. This is the standard headgear to wear in Egypt. If you're not wearing your Kevlar, or if you're not on doing patrols. When you go out on patrols, you wear the regular DCU Bunique hat or patrol cap. But if you're right around South Camp or North Camp, where they put us, or if you're in the OP sites like OP1, OP12, South Control 7 or whatever, this is what you wore. Okay? And I'm going to show you some pictures a little bit later in another video about it. So this is what you wore. So we said, oh, this is fucking pretty badass, you know? And it is authorized headgear. It is authorized headgear, so you can walk around wearing it, or the berets. Preferably, I'd rather wear my Stetson. So we get these, and we're looking all fucking high speed and hoo-ah, and we take our DCUs down to go get name tapes put on them and all this other neat stuff. But we were still supposed to wear the BDUs until all the tapes and the patches were put on. And that took roughly about 2 days to do. These guys worked awful fast. And I ended up paying like $20-something to get my DCU tops done. And by the time we put them on, it was snowing, by the way, by this time. It was going into December. And it was snowing. So naturally we freeze ass, and we're wearing desert camouflage in Fort Lewis in the wintertime with snow. Go figure. So myself and a specialist Neely, we were amongst the first guys to have the complete set already done. Flaming asshole patch, name tapes, rank, desert boots, MFO hat, or Stetson. So we go walking down to the PX. First guys ever in the company with their DCUs go down to the PX. I'm going to go down there and get some sodas. I think Neely was going to get some chew. And we go walking down there with our Stetsons. And all the other soldiers who were doing already the transition to ACUs were looking at us like we were like circus clowns. To them, they're like, who are these guys? You know, they think that maybe we're like some sort of foreign nationals, you know. And then we hear this. Hey, you two, come here. Yo, come here. So I'm looking around going, hey, Neely, did you hear that? You two, stop right there. I'm like, oh, shit. I said, dude, what do we do? And this man comes up. Older gentleman walks up. And he was wearing ACUs, and we looked at the little fucking name, the little fucking rank. Sergeant Major. He walks up, he looks at us, he had the second ID patch on, because the second ID is also stationed in Fort Lewis. He goes, what the hell are you guys wearing? Oh, Sergeant Major, we're wearing DCUs. Well, I can see that, Corporal. Why in the hell, what is that shit on your head? Sir, Sergeant Major, we're in the MFO. What the fuck is the MFO? The Multinational Forces and Observers. We're going on a rotation to Egypt, and this is the standard headgear for the DCU uniform for the MFO. I've never heard of such a damn thing. Are you lying to me, Corporal? No, Sergeant Major. I mean, why would we lie? We showed him the little badge, the Multinational Force and Observers thing. And he says, you know that the DCUs is already obsolete. He says, well, that's what they gave us, Sergeant Major. It's all brand new. Yeah, well, who in the hell is your company commander? So I told him who my company commander is. And I told him who my squad leader is. And I told him who my platoon leader is. And my platoon sergeant, I told him who he is. And where we were located. Well, I don't want you wearing that headgear while you're walking around Fort Lewis. You understand me? I said, Sergeant Major, this is the standard headgear for the MFO, and we are authorized to wear it, according to the 671-1, which I kind of made up because it's not true. But he's like, well, put on a soft cap, and then, you know, we're like, well, we didn't bring our soft caps with us, Sergeant Major. He says, well, you know what? Is I'm going to get down and I'm going to find out who this is all about. Give me your name. So he writes my name and he writes Neely's name. And he just starts, well, see about that. And then if you guys are bullshitting around, I will have your asses Article 15. And I'm like, really? And he walks away. And I'm like, really? Getting threatened with Article 15s already? Just for the uniform? I said, what the fuck is wrong with this fucking guy? You know, what kind of fucking asswipe is this guy? So we go inside the PX, we get our stuff, go walking back up, and here comes 4 of our guys walking down to the PX. And I warned him about this Sergeant Major. You know, this guy is going to be a fucking major asshole, and he's going to try to chew everybody out. So you know what? Fuck that guy, and fuck him, you know, and fuck his precious Army horse shit. So we go back, no problem. We lay out all our stuff, drink our Gatorades, because it is nice and freezing outside. And, you know, we're wondering how the hell are we going to be able to get climatized before we get the fuck out of this place, which of course is not going to happen. So we heard about the incidences with some other uniforms from some of the other companies within the next 2 to 3 days. And finally we get the okay to start packing up our stuff. Meanwhile, the very last of the passports came in. And guess who was in that last group? Little old me. As usual. Always the last in something. Finally! Here is your passport. Wow, I finally got the passport. Holy shit. So, he gives me my passport. I go and look at it. Later on that evening, everybody's to bring their passports over to the CO's office and turn them in. Why are we turning them in? Because you idiots have a good chance of losing the goddamn things. So we gave back all our passports, where they're going to ship it off with the headquarters platoon is going to be having all of our passports. Just in case. And all those passports are going to get stamped while we're there. So this is going to be the end of the, I don't even know what fucking part this is. What, part 12? Part 13? Shit, I don't know. Fuck it, I don't know. I'll figure it out. Huh?